Alright, we got about a month or so before my next big playthrough, then I'll backtrack and get some more playthroughs done. But in the meantime, someone said something along the lines of I should give my opinions on the heroes in My Hero Academia because I say a lot of them deserve a video or whatnot. So I'm gonna just give my opinion on all the relevant air quotes relevant heroes in this video, and I'll rank them while I'm at it. Alright, first up is Bakugo. I'm gonna be doing this based off pure memory because I don't feel like watching the show for a fourth fucking time. Bakugo is really important in the first two seasons, but after that he makes a lot of splash appearances. Bakugo is very impactful to the series. I find it weird how he's always yelling outside of a few humble moments he has. On second watch, when they got to UA in the first part of the arc, the rivalry between him and Deku was forced because Deku was clearly bottom 3 in the class, and Bakugo was jealous of him for some reason, instead of being jealous of Yaoyorozu and Todoroki, when the only two people that ranked ahead of him in the fucking entrance exams or whatever the fuck they did. In one of the first things that they do, Yaoyorozu was number 1, Todoroki was 2, and he's jealous of fucking Midoriya. Dog, get this dog shit ad off the screen. I need to look around. Alright, anyways, besides that, he's a good character in the show, especially compared to a majority of the heroes and villains in the show. But in terms of overall anime characters, Bakugo is mid. Yeah, Bakugo's mid. Some people may think, you know what I'm saying? Some people may like his ultra aggressive. Some may think it's annoying. I'm neutral on it, so yeah, mid tier. All Might is a support character for a vast majority of the show, but in the 3 scenes that he gets, he shows he can't be, you know, in the 3 scenes that he actually gets to be a hero, he shows he can't be fucked with. All Might is one of very few people in the show that can actually box, and bro absolutely bullied, in my opinion, the strongest Nomu in the show. And that one was buffed specifically to counter him, and it still got washed. And he gets hoed in the middle of the fight because Kurogiri helps the Nomu not get posterized in the middle of the fight. Kurogiri kind of hoe for that because they was running the ones. Anyways, I know the Nomu become basically a skill check and eventually a joke in the show, but I know the Nomu that Nomu Miracle Fa are technically the strongest, but they were only a threat because they 5v1 the bunny girl. So you can disagree. Yeah, so you can you can disagree, but in my opinion, the first Nomu is the best one. In my opinion, it's the strongest. But then All Might stunlocks the League of Villains by kicking in a fucking wall, albeit K-Wood is the one that apprehended him, but it was still kind of gangsta how he just went through the wall, and then he would have folded anybody in that room that stepped to him. I don't give a fuck. Who's gonna step to All Might? Dobby. Then he slaps All For One up. It wasn't exactly him slapping him up. It was a tough fight, but you know what I mean? He slapped him up, and the fight was tough for him, but that's because All For One is smart enough to, not box All Might. So yeah, but long story medium, W character, Phi tier. We can't even see the fucking Phi tier from here. God damn it, I gotta zoom out. Grow up, motherfucker. There we go. W character, Phi tier. Todoroki. Alright, Zuko is an interesting character. He really falls off after the first training arc and whatnot. What's funny is he's supposed to be this perfect hero prospect, but lacking the mental side of things. I can see why people would like Zuko, and feel like he's hoed. But I'm trying to think of his big moments, and he has a few, like the Dobby fight, but that was disappointing. He helped Momo pass the exam where they fight Aizawa. He helps save Bakugo, I believe. So he's in the show. He does enough, but his character development and development as a fighter just ends after he starts using his left side. With that being said, yeah, Todoroki, man. Todoroki, you're alright, which I didn't put alright in here. Well, actually, yeah, I didn't put alright in here. I'm gonna go meet expectations. Ida gets a big role in the show, and he has a lot of potential, but I only say that because he gets a lot of screen time, and everyone who isn't a villain in this show looks good in their 5 minutes of fame, but Ida gets way more than 5 minutes. He doesn't really accomplish anything special. I mean, he has his moments, but like I said, they're nothing special. But all of his moments are in like training arcs where everyone has a moment in that training arc, unless you're fucking Yaoyorozu. Well, unless you're fucking Yaozurozu. Pause. Unless you are Yaozurozu. I can't speak English today. In the final battle, he appears for 6 frames where he kicks a Nomu. Ida wasn't even at the top of the class, but he becomes the de facto class leader because of his personality when they didn't really know his personality. Just Midoriya just fucking had faith in Ida, right, of all the people in the fucking class. Not gonna lie, his voice actor and the animators really carried, because now that I think about it, Ida kind of sucks. I want to throw him in trash. Does he meet expectations or is he trash? Like, what was there to expect by him? He's just kind of, I don't know. Me personally, you can argue meets expectations, or I would say, why are you here? But we know why he's here. He's supposed to be the leader, but he's not really a good leader. He's just the counter coacher, because everybody's just kind of chilling, just trying to have fun, be a hero, kid stuff. And then he's taking it mad serious, which is charming and shit like that. But he doesn't do anything except get beat the fuck up, and then he's kicking them. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ida, you're trash. Your voice actor and animators really put in fucking work with you, but Ida, your ass. Okay, so everyone knows where Uraraka is going, but if we stop the show after the first all-for-one battle, Uraraka would be in Phi tier. If we got more fights from her, it would definitely be more justified for her to be in the Phi tier. I actually think Uraraka is one of the more overpowered characters in the show, because she's the only character that doesn't have a brawling quirk that actually decides to learn how to fight. So she just waddles up to people and automatically wins the fight with a hip toss. And it's fucked up. She's not even like that fat in the show. I hear she's drawn pretty chunky in the manga, but I think I saw a picture of it and it actually isn't that fat. I guess, like, have y'all seen that short? I haven't watched it, where there's this thick South Korean girl. She is so fucking fine. She is so fine, but it's like, this is considered fat in South Korea, and then obviously people like to make fun of us Americans for being overweight, because, like, 20%, I don't know. I haven't seen the fucking statistic in a while, but a lot of motherfuckers are fat here in America. So we see this, air quote, we see this chubby South Korean girl being called fat in her country. We're like, yo, this bitch bad. Like, hey, bring her over here, bro. Anyways, but yeah, so she actually isn't that fat, but like, when people said she was fat in the manga, I thought she was genuinely, like, I'm talking about she had a gut, like she was chubby, but it seems like they just kind of kept the thighs, slimmed the stomach up and whatnot. So yeah, I say waddles just because, like, her for some reason, like, when I remember Uraraka, like, in her scenes, I imagine her thighs like twice the size of the rest of her body. So she just waddles up the motherfuckers and hip tosses. And then there's the time where she captures Chisaki, and Chisaki's already knocked the fuck out, and then she just waddles up to him, martial arts, and fucking hip tosses his ass. Like, bro, he's knocked out. Why did you hip toss him? But yeah, Uraraka's cool as shit, bro. Anyways, yeah, so I think she's overpowered because she waddles up the motherfucker, just hip tosses him, automatic win. But before she learned a variety of takedowns, she also has a phenomenal fight against Bakugo, which, I mean, hey, that was a phenomenal fight. I ain't got nothing to say. That would be one of the best fights in the series. Anyways, and then after her hip toss patch, she has a decent fight versus Toga, but it gets hoed because they cut it short with cringy ass dialogue about Deku. Bro, we don't give a about Deku in that moment, bro. We got two. Anyways, yeah, but genuinely it cucks the whole fight, and it fucks the whole thing up. But Uraraka is a fire character with a lot of phenomenal moments, but just like Stain, the show holds her back and doesn't let her be the fire character she shows she can be. So she's definitely, and y'all probably guessed it, the three of you that are gonna watch this, she goes in the hoe tier. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting into the hot takes. Let's get it. Momo gets hoed so bad you can make an argument for putting her in the why are you here tier. My voice cracked. It starts when either in the entrance exams or the quirk show off arc. I don't know which one it was. I don't feel like watching the first season. It's just, I don't know. I'm not the first season, it's very emotional. And I'm not here for the emotions at the point. I know what happens. I'm here to see motherfuckers fight on the second arc. You know what I mean? See if I missed something. And something I missed was Momo Yaoyorozu was the #1 qualifier ahead of Todoroki and Bakugo. And the show just kind of forgets about this because it focuses on fucking Bakugo and Deku's rivalry or whatever. And then shortly after, like just before, at some point before the sports festival, they say Bakugo is the #1 qualifier in the show. And I'm just like, no, he's not. You said it was Momo Rouse. Yeah, it was Momo and fucking Todoroki, right? Anyways, she doesn't even get a scene in the sports festival, and if she does and I just don't remember it, it says a lot, given I've seen the fucking sports festival 3 times, and on my second watch I was specifically looking for Yaoyorozu scenes. Anyways, and to double back on something seemingly insignificant, in my personal opinion, Momo should have won class presidency in a landslide, given how she's unanimously liked by the girls in the class, and there's quite a few of them. Plus, it's revealed that Todoroki voted for her, so pretty much all or a majority of the girls plus one. But as you can see, the show can't even give her, like, you know, the small things. But yeah, Deku wins the vote because he's the main character, but he hands it off to Ida, and I don't know why the fuck he chooses Ida. Obviously, Ida becomes the most bossy and by-the-book person in Class 1A, but at that point in time, I don't think they really knew that much about each other, so he just kind of, you know, just have faith in, and he's not that good of a leader anyways. But yeah, he doesn't have any leader qualities outside of taking everything serious when they make this choice. But moving on, I gotta burp again. During the exams where they fight the teachers, Momo is revealed to have major confidence issues, and the beautiful preppy girl that's captain of the basketball team, unanimous homecoming queen that comes from a rich family, but she has confidence issues, is like a common, well, not a common, but it's an uncommon trope that we appreciate, you know what I mean? Anyone can suffer from a wide variety of mental issues and whatnot, but the show in no way, shape, or form, like, you know, sets this up. Like, there's nothing telling us that, hey, something is holding Yaoyorozu back. Like, every scene that we see from her in those first episodes where they're introducing the characters shows us that, hey, this girl is kind of badass. She's smart as shit. She does gymnastics. She comes from a nice family. She you know what I'm saying, she pulls out a couple weapons. I think she whips out a staff from the USJ attack, you know what I mean? Like, she's shown to be like basically one of the most diverse characters in terms of having a wide tool belt, in terms of tools that she can actually create and use, and tools as in, like, she knows how to, like, I don't know, for kickbox, she can do gymnastics, she can build stuff, she knows how to do medical things, like, you know what I mean? She's set up to be, like, really fucking diverse. Like, she's set up to be him. Alright, she is supposed to be him. They set that up, and then out of nowhere, when she gets to show off that, hey, I'm her, this is why I was #1, they're like, nah, you get a mental debuff, you know what I mean? Shout out to TSO Sage. It kind of feels like they just give her a debuff just so we can see that Todoroki isn't an asshole, but you shouldn't have to nerf a side character so your protagonist looks good, you know what I mean? Like, that's like how people say hot or even mid women hang around ugly girls so they look prettier. It's kind of dumb. So she has this disappointing moment to pass the exams, and in the second exam she outsmarts some nerds, and we get like this oh, that's the licenses, when they're getting their licenses, and it's like, you know, we get it, she's smart, and it's supposed to show she's gotten over her indecisiveness, but Momo has so much more to offer as a character than that, you know? She has so much more to offer to the show than being a strategist that spawns shit out of her boobs, you know what I mean? Yaoyorozu could be the ultimate version of Batman or even Aizawa, you know, given how she has the background in athletics and presumably multiple forms of combat, along with, yeah, but the show does nothing with that, you know what I mean? Her moment is supposed to be when the UA students take down Giga Nigga, but that obviously fails until it doesn't. But the biggest slap in the face to Momo Yaoyorozu fans is that in her episode, her dedicated oh my gosh, hold on, this needs a little more energy. The biggest slap in the face to Momo Yaoyorozu fans is that in her episode, her dedicated fucking episode, they have Yaoyorozu lose a training match to the big hands girl. She lost a fight in her dedicated episode to Candice Flynn with inflatable fucking hands. They give that they give that purple nigga more development as a character in a fighter than their number one qualifying student. Momo Yaoyorozu is by far the most hoed character in the show, in my opinion. She is going to the top of hoeds here, just above why are they making it funky and shit? Anyways, just above fucking Uruk. Okay, I gotta stop saying that. Just above Uruk. Kirishima, Red Riot's cool, you know, he has his moments. He doesn't overstay his welcome. I fuck with Kirishima. Not much to say about him, meets expectations. Ooh, Tokuyomi. Bird Boy is interesting. He shows his raw power during the camp attack, and he actually develops as a fighter and a little as a character, but the show doesn't really do anything with him. Like, he's one of the strongest students in class 1A, but you know, they just have him lose to Bakugo because, and I quote, "I'm a bad matchup for you, Bird Boy," you know, shit like that. And he ends up saving Hawks, but they kind of hoe him by having Dark Shadow be scared of Dabi. And I already went on a rant about why I think him being scared of Dabi is fucking stupid. Like, he hasn't done anything. If I had a disappointing tier, he would be in there. I'd say the show hoed him, but they don't give us anything to be hyped about after the forest attack. So I kind of want to throw a disappointing tier in here, but we can't fit nothing more. We'll throw in disappointing. I can't stop. Disappointing. Jiro is good vibes. I fuck with her, you know what I'm saying. I made a case in the Shigaraki video about how her quirk could do some serious damage to people. She doesn't really develop as a hero whatsoever. I genuinely don't remember her doing anything hero related. Well, she does hero stuff, but none of it's like fighting. It's like, you know, cheering people up and fucking passing the exams and throwing a concert for the students that were fucking hating. So yeah, I like Jiro, and as a fellow, you know, I fuck with fellow music creators, so like, you know, I might get like a chibi for her or something silly just because she's the musical person. But yeah, outside of that, it's just like, why are you here? You know, she's a good hero in universe because like she does all the non-stereotypical hero thing. She's not beating up villains and shit like that. Like she's for the community for real. But in terms of the show, bro, why are you here? Like, you don't really need to be in the show. Tails is alright. I mean, he has like a martial arts clip in the USJ attack and whatnot, and I think he does some stuff during the training arcs. But given I said some stuff, and I can't tell you what the fuck it was, that's all you need to know, bro. Why are you here? Tamaki actually puts in work. His quirk is kind of awkward to me just because it changes like his body parts, and sometimes it's like a weird mix. But yeah, bro doesn't show up much, but when he does show up, he makes an impact. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't get a lot of screen time or hype, nor does he do anything truly spectacular. But we'll go meet expectations above. I can't put him in front, bro. Yeah, there we go. Mina Ashido. Okay, yeah, Ice Spice doesn't really serve a purpose in the show in any way, shape, or form. They draw her and Asui dummy thick, just about any chance they get. I mean, Alien Girl is kind of bad, you know. Like when I was looking for a picture to put in the tier list, I saw like the fan arts, and bro, people see her as Ice Spice. It can't be argued. People think she's Ice Spice. But yeah, like I genuinely don't mind like fan service, obviously, because I'm a fucking guy, right? But I wouldn't mind it if she actually did something, you know what I mean? And to make it worse, she has one chance to like redeem herself as something more than fat bait, as a comic called her. Yeah, she gets one chance to really prove herself. She's about to launch something. She's about to throw the sedative at Giga Nigga, and then she gets hoed in the dumbest way possible. So as she's flying through the air about to throw the sedative in Gigaman's mouth, she gets like a childhood memory of seeing him or some other monster and freezes in fear in midair, despite having the courage to lunge at him. Like, it's fucking stupid. Why? It's like, if you were gonna have Kirishima be the fucking hero, why even throw her dumbass in the air at the guy in the first fucking place? It's just fucking stupid, bro. I want to go, why are you here? But just because I don't know what purpose you serve. But even if you had a purpose, you fucking suck, and you're worse than Ida. Oh. Yeah, I know where everybody wants this motherfucker to go. Y'all want him in and shouldn't fucking exist. 100% the most hated character in the show, Mineta. And they give him the most irredeemable joke ever. He would have been interesting because he's the only character in the show that's interested in girls and doesn't get nervous about it. He's also the only one in the show who openly crushes on someone, albeit he has a crush on anyone who gets drawn thick at least twice. But I don't know why he's here. The show doesn't give him any redeeming qualities. He doesn't do any kind of noble hero work. The show makes him do just enough to pass, then makes him a pervert for the rest of the show. Like, Minato is kind of hoed because fate doesn't allow him to really be a character. Like, I kind of feel bad because it would be a cool concept, right? You got everybody else over here. Well, the girls have a I don't know, but like, out of the guys, everybody's like focused on being a hero, right? Like Deku has that thing where Uraraka, Todoroki has an episode where he's really feeling Yaoyorozu, which I like Yaoyorozu more personally. Like, I fucks with her personality and the fact she got hoed so bad. Like, I didn't care for her on first watch, but when I realized how bad she was getting hoed, and I started trying to pay attention to her backstory, I fucks with Rosie. She cool for real. But anyways, yeah, Deku and Todoroki are basically the only ones that care about getting girls. Todoroki doesn't care after an episode. Deku cared for like a season. Electrification guy, I mean, they set something up with him and Jiro for a little bit, but then it just falls off. So he's the only one that really gives a fuck about like trying to get a girlfriend, like trying to be active, you know what I mean? And that would have been cool, because like, you know what I'm saying, in any classroom or school, you're gonna have somebody who's doing just enough to pass, but you know, they don't give about the schoolwork. Like, they see all these bad women and they're like, bro, I want at least one of y'all, you know what I mean? So, but instead of like making him just be like flirty and whatnot, they just make him purr. Like, they just make him overly horny. Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. He doesn't serve a purpose in the show. And then it's like, if you intended for him just to be a pervert and like that, and then it's like yeah, at that point, he just shouldn't exist, bro. Get your bitch at, yep, shouldn't exist. I feel most characters I'm gonna throw in trash or shouldn't exist, I dislike, but I feel bad for Minato because they like, he's literally character assassination the character, you know. Kaminari kind of gets shelved. Besides that, you know, besides getting shelved, he's alright. His best moment can be ruined if you think his one-liner is cringe, which personally I think his one-liner is cringe, and then they play it like 4 times, bro. Like, why? He said it, it's okay, just get it out of here, it's not that cool. But his character is but it's in character for nerfed Static Shock. Anyways, he doesn't have any crazy moments, nor does he really have a backstory, or at least I don't remember, or something that makes us think, wow, he's amazing. So yeah, when it comes to Kaminari, I'm gonna go meet. You could kind of argue disappointing, but there's nothing to be disappointed about because they don't really set him up. So meets expectations. I don't really care for Aizawa's teaching. Someone in the comments didn't like Aizawa at all, and it's like, yeah, I can see it. You know what I mean? I mean, he spends a majority well, a majority of his teachings happens off camera. We only see him testing the heroes and whatnot, but Aizawa is one of the best fighters in the show. He gets hoed during the Chisaki arc and is just a support character during the Shigaraki fight, albeit the most important character during that Shigaraki fight. He also gets hoed in the Shigaraki fight as a support character because literally in the hospital, in the hospital attack, and also in some other attack, I can't remember what it was, at some point in the show, I think it was even season 1, it's shown consistently that his quirk can erase regeneration. It erases it on the high-end Nobu, it erases it on somebody else, I can't remember, but a bunch of Nobu. But for convenience, it doesn't erase Shigaraki's regeneration, because if it did, this show would be fucking over. Nonetheless, with Aizawa, I don't have a, oh yeah, yes I do. Yeah, he lands in the cool tier. I sweat Aizawa, bro, he cool. Genuinely, Hanta? Anyway, Zero, tape guy, could have potentially been Spider-Man, but genuinely, outside of the trainings arcs, why is he here? Bro, pack him up. Get him out of here. Endeavor. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Hold on. Endeavor is on my list of people to have a dedicated video, so I'll just give the bullet points here in case I actually do make that video. Why the fuck was he scared of Stain when he is literally hunting the guy down? Why didn't we get a Stain versus Endeavor fight if you planned on air quotes killing him, you know, of air quotes killing Stain anyways, and Stain might as well be dead. It doesn't do anything for the rest of the show. Endeavor instantly kills that Nomu in Hosu City. I believe that's what it's called, Hosu City. But the Nomu has super regeneration, which covers up the fact that Nomu can't fight for shit. The only reason why that fight with the Nomu and Hosu was as taxing as it was is so that when Dabi shows up, he doesn't get insta-fucked like he did in his previous fights. So they hoe Endeavor, making a fight look way more strenuous than it actually was, just so Dabi doesn't get his shit slapped up when he appears. Endeavor versus buffed Shigaraki hoes Endeavor in so many ways. Like, this might be one of the biggest plot armor fights in modern anime. Like, and I hear it gets worse in the final season with Shigaraki, and I didn't really care for the family drama, but everything made sense. But at a certain, you know, it did make sense. You know, the drama, I didn't care for it, but it made sense. But at a certain point, Todoroki was just being a jackass. Endeavor, albeit late as fuck, was trying to be a dad to Zuko and turned a new leaf. And not only, and at a certain point, the only thing he had against Endeavor for almost like an entire arc was a scar on his face. But Endeavor didn't give him the scar on his face. His mother did. Yes, Endeavor was a shitty husband, but she hit you with the boiling water, not him. You know what I mean? Like, you were by far his favorite child, and once he got over the tough training, you know what I mean, the whole I hate my dad shit should have stopped, right? It should have, you know, it should have stayed with the rejected brother. Anyways, in my opinion, I would say Endeavor is actually the second most hoed character in the show, even ahead of Uraraka, but I felt like Uraraka could actually make more of an impact on the show, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what rank you put him in, it's just as long as you acknowledge that these motherfuckers are getting hoed, bro. Menzo Shoji. Ears has some impactful moments. He kind of keeps to himself. He doesn't get a lot of hype despite putting on for the team at times. His biggest, his biggest moment was in the forest where he lured a raging dark shadow to Moonfish, the mouth demon, and got him fucked up. He then helps catch Magic Guy, and he robs Magic Guy even though he stole dummy beads. Then he puts on a bit, you know, he puts on for the team a bit in training as a support character. I actually think, pretty sure he puts in a little bit of work in the I can't speak English. The licensing exam. So Ears lands in, he lands in mid-tier. I mean, he does have one big moment, but he doesn't really do anything special. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Well, that just meets expectations. Like, you don't expect shit from him. He puts on for the team a little bit, but yeah, it meets expectations. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a great way to start this. I'm finna get clipped. I don't give a fuck. Asui is one of 2 crushes I have in this show. Not gonna lie, I love this show. You know what? Fuck it. This ain't even a hear me out either. Straight up. Fuck it. Yep. Murder me. All right, but anyways, One day I'm gonna do a video when I use all my anime slash celebrity crushes to make like the perfect girlfriend. That's gonna be the biggest simp video on YouTube. If that doesn't make me inarguably the biggest simp on the platform, I don't know what to do after that. But anyways, but keeping it to the show, Asumi is cool. She gets her moments, you know what I'm saying? And she even gets a dedicated episode where she gets to show off like how badass she is or how badass she can be. She's one of the more logical ones in the show, or at least in that group. But just because she's smart and logical, the show doesn't give her you know what I'm saying? They give her a lot of opinions that we could disagree with. You know what I mean? And that makes her even better, because I mean that's just how life and personalities work. Asumi is dope. I'll go meets expectations. She pops out. She carries a team at times, but the rest of the time she's chilling. Given the nature of her quirk as a support, she's more of like a saving slash bail em out type of character. Really innovative, not really a fighter, so that kind of like limits her. I would throw her in Phi because I'm biased and whatnot. I would say she deserves mid, but if she meets expectations. She doesn't really, you don't really expect much out of her, and she just, you know, when she shows up, she does what she says she needs to do. Deku can go anywhere in the top part. I mean, you can go from meets expectations to, you know, S tier. And some of you may argue that he belongs in trash tier, but you know what I mean? Deku isn't that bad. He cries way less than I expected because people made it seem like he cries during every fight, but that's not true. He's one of the like 3 students that actually develop as a fighter, and of course he has a lot of character development as the main protagonist. But seeing Deku go from outsmarting and hip tossing Bakugo to countering all of Todoroki's range attacks and finessing him into using his left side, then he starts using kicks, he beats the fuck out of Chisaki, knocked his ass clean the fuck out. He gets a web thing that then he starts grappling motherfuckers with it. Then he beats the dog shit out of Shigaraki. I mean, he's beating out that guy. Like, I don't know why he's the #1 threat to Japan and eventually the world. But anyways, Deku could come off as a bit cringy at times. And some people think his vigilante arc either doesn't live up to the hype or the screen time it got, or was a massive waste of time because he genuinely doesn't change or learn anything from the arc. But I mess with Deku, and as of the first 6 seasons, Deku is kind of Phi. I can be convinced to drop him down, you know, a full tier, but I'm not live streaming, so I'm just gonna go with like Deku. Yeah, I would say cool, but no, Deku has some moments. Like, I was gonna throw him in cool, but no, he really, like, Bakugo was hating on him. He hip tossed that motherfucker, finessed him out of I wish he fought him a little more, but he wasn't really much of a fighter at the time. So he hip tosses that motherfucker and then drops him and then beats him out of the first exam. He goes to the tournament. He puts in a little bit of work. I can't remember how many fights he has, but the most memorable one is the one versus Todoroki, where he gets Todoroki that leaves the left side, and then he loses, and then Todoroki gets maxed out by Bakugo, but Bakugo does a Vegeta reference where it's like, yeah, I beat you, but you didn't tell me that you had Super Saiyan 3, Goku, what the fuck? Probably missing something. I can't remember if this training arc happened before or after Chisaki. I'm just gonna say it happens after. He beats the fuck out of Chisaki. He beats Chisaki's ass. He fucks Chisaki up. Like, he actually is boxing Chisaki. Like, I know Lemillion beat is Lemillion on here? Yeah, Lemillion's on here. So he beat the fuck out of Chisaki. Then him and Bakugo have a real fight. Of course they make him lose the fight, because I don't know why they make him lose to Bakugo. Like, Bakugo is cool, but he's not that cool. Then he gets like I said, Deku earned fight here. I'm not gonna lie, Deku Phi. Of course, most people just don't like the main character because it shows them the most, and in a show with inconsistent writing, you know what I mean? I don't like criticizing the writing. In a show where someone's getting a lot of screen time, you know, they're going to try to show you their flaws and whatnot. Like, they're going to humanize the characters that they focus on, like the main protagonist. So you're going to see some shit you don't like. And I think some people harp on the shit that they don't like a little too much. There's genuinely not that much to dislike about Deku. Koji Koda, Bro is literally a placeholder. Dude is too scared to do anything remotely heroic. The one time he does something, he does something heroic, he has to be babysat into it. Bro doesn't get any screen time. Motherfucker doesn't even speak. Bro, shouldn't exist. Top of it. Yep, shouldn't exist. Lil Mill, you can make a very solid case that he is the best hero in the show. Lil Mill doesn't get a lot of screen time because he gets finessed, but boy does he maximize when he's on screen. Bro was putting the beats on Chisaki, and they were hyping Chisaki up as this devious fighter, right? And during this skirmish, all right, during his skirmish in the boxing, match, and during his skirmish and in the boxing match, the skirmish against League of Villains and then the boxing match, it's shown that Chisaki is a Weave Nation prospect, okay? Like, he can join the Weave Nation if he really wants to. And wins fights very efficiently because he just weaves, touch, done. It's over. But Lemillion slapped this man Chisaki up so fucking bad he started earthbending. Chisaki deadass for an episode and a half got beat so bad he switched animes. And fuck you, Avatar's honorary anime. Kiss my. After that he gets shelved and plays support character. But then he returns, and on my second watch I forgot he came back. So I was intrigued. So bro pulls up and casually bodies like 4 Nomu when he pulls up. Then it's about the solo, the Shifu, who is that? Oh, Shigaraki All For One. So yeah, Shifu. He's weaving everything, but the thrust vector nails loop around the battlefield and stab him in the back, which I think is stupid. Like, just a massive eye roller right there, bro. Because you can't knock Shifu out, because that'll end the show. Lemillion gots to go. Honestly, they could have had Shifu weave Lemillion's punch and then smack him out of view. Like, I would have been okay with that. We could have lived with that. You know what I mean? But anyways, Lil Mill, by far, is the only character going in S tier. You can make arguments for Deku in S tier, and you can have an argument for All Might, but he doesn't get enough screen time. If you're really into Mentor, All For One, you could put him in S tier, but outside of that, I don't think he does enough. The show is just not meant for him to do enough to be an S tier character. Rikido Sato, bro's a placeholder. Like, why are you here? You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, why are you here? Good vibes though. Yuga, Yuga genuinely doesn't do anything in the show except make French people look bad. And the biggest knock against him personally is I've seen the show twice, and I've seen parts of it 3 to 5 times, and I still didn't know he was the traitor. Yeah, Yuga, I'm not gonna lie, you're trash, dog. You're trash. I would put you in Shouldn't Exist, but it turns out you did have a role in the show. It's just the role was so watered down and minute, I didn't even know it. And I've seen this 3 times. Toru, she is literally the definition of why are you here? Genuinely, why is she here? I mean, I don't get why she never gets to a point to where she can turn her invisibility off. Nonetheless, I don't know why you here. Like, you could see her in like Why Are You Here, which is why I just threw her up there. But now that I think about it, like, Why Are You Here is kind of like, we don't know what role you serve in the show, or the role you serve isn't meant for the show. Her role could be like, I don't know, she can be an infiltrator, like she can be really sneaky, she can be like, she can sneak up on people, get information, hide out headquarters and shit like that, right? Like, they give Lemillion a suit that when he does his permeation, his clothes don't fall off. So, I mean, of course they don't, because this doesn't get any screen time, but why couldn't they give her a suit that when she turns invisible, because she can turn it on and off, or you'd hope, it'll turn her clothes back on type beat. But yeah, she doesn't, not only, like, we get her role, or whatever, she doesn't have a role. She's trash. I'm sorry for Toru fans. I don't know why you're a fan of a fucking, I don't know what they call those things they put in stores that they throw clothes on. I don't care anymore. President Mike is cool. Doesn't really do anything. I mean, he has his fight scenes, but they're against nobodies. And his literal second air quotes fight, he breaks healing chambers, then despawns. So literally fights nobody. I didn't care for the Kurogiri thing because they just give up on it, and there's genuinely no reason to care outside of the fact that one of them cries. So I'm gonna go meets expectations. Bottom of meets expectations. Mount Lady, my second crush in the show, and if you were looking at the screen, you would have saw that I have her in Murder Me tier at the top of it too. I'm not gonna lie, I'm putting Asui at top. I ain't gonna lie. She gotta be top G. Make her top G. There we go. But anyways, but she doesn't get much screen time, which is weird because she's literally fan service, but is not forced. When she's walking around dummy thick, it makes sense because her quirk requires her to grow bigger. And also, I don't know why they make it to where, like, she's a professional hero, so I don't know why they make it to where she just automatically grows to the size of a fucking building. Like, if she's fighting someone like a Nomu, she should be able to, of course it's easier for her to just grow to the size of a building, pick the thing up and just crush it or some shit, or throw it. But it would be nice if she was able to control how big she get, so that way she could just like match heights and just really box motherfuckers and shit like that. But anyways, but yeah, I think people kind of sleep on her just because all of her stuff really happens in the background. Like, she bodies a villain in her first appearance, stealing an arrest from K-Wood, the base god. She smashes the Nomu warehouse and then either goes to fight Nomu, I'm pretty sure she fights Nomu, or she despawns when All For One shows up. She's on the she's in the background and has like 5 seconds of her putting in work in the background of the hospital raid. You could argue that we'd like to see more of her or whatever, but there genuinely isn't anyone in the show she could actually fight. I mean, there is Giga Nigga, but for some reason they're obsessed with him being borderline unstoppable. But Giga Nigga is kind of ass, not gonna lie. I mean, he gets beat up by fucking Endeavor, but of course they don't want to give Endeavor credit, so they have him just tank the punch despite getting knocked out. I mean, Endeavor punched the shit out of him, and his chin flying. He gets insta cucked by fucking Best Genist. I don't know why they didn't have, what's her name, Mount Lady, just hip toss his big ass and restrain him. Like, I don't get it. And then they give him that weird ass claw shit. Like, it makes no sense. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna put Waifu Lady in meets expectations. I mean, they don't really give you much to expect. She pulls up, she supports, she shows her personality off in a few episodes, which might piss people off, but I'm not, because she's kind of like a pick-me girl prom queen. I like pick-me girls and prom queens. Never had I won't be in a position to actually, like, I was about to lay out some personal shit. Anyways, but yeah, she meets expectations, puts in work, but all of her work isn't really important. She's kind of out of place, and I promise y'all I'm gonna make an AMV for her. Nijire? Anyways, Energy Girl, yeah, of the big three, she's the one with the least amount of screen time. She's a cool concept, but she honestly doesn't get to be more than a concept. She also gets sneak attacked by Dobby's bitch ass, and it's like, why? Especially since he sneak attacked her before burning off his ropes. So, like, how? Anyway, since Shigaraki gets to a point only people with physical enhancement or flying quirks can fight him, you know what I mean? I didn't build all that. But yeah, Shigaraki gets to a point to where only people with physical enhancement quirks or can fly, definitely only fly, people who can fly toward the end of the battle can fight him. And that would have been nice because, like, she can fly, so she can pull up and, like, help the fight a little more. But at that point in the fight, like, it was reaching its climax, so it was mostly just Deku and Shigaraki. Like, they basically were running the ones for that part of the fight, and then some people jump in and get a lick in or two, but it's just like, I don't know. You know what, I want to put her in the, I'm gonna throw her, I have her written down for bottom of Hode, but there isn't enough, you know what I mean? Like, you could say there's not enough for Yaoyorozu, but like, they're just like, oh, she's in the big three, she's good, and then they show the other two guys being really good. I mean, I put him and Meats, because like he is good, he fucks some villains up, but they're not really big villains, and those villains don't really impact the show. I mean, it helps with the scenes, it makes the scenes tense, and then he has the balls to go toe to toe with a villain, albeit that villain wasn't shit. And then Lemillion, I mean, we all know about Lemillion, but for her, they don't really show us why she's number 3. So I'm going disappointing. Itsuka Kendo, she hoes Yaoyorozu in the Momo episode. I kind of feel like she exists just to hoe her, or as a skill check to the UA heroes. And obviously Yaoyorozu doesn't have any fucking skills besides being a 3D printer, which pissed me off because she could be way more than just that. But Kendo, yeah, she meets expectations. She pulls up during the trading arc just like the rest of the fucking class 1B or 2A students and the Shiketsu guys, and they're just a skill check for they're a skill check for class 1A and whatnot. And yeah, she also beats up the gas guy, so yeah, it doesn't get hyped. She just shows up, do what she gotta do, meets expectations. All right, now let's rattle some off. Miss Midnight, really cool for me, and I could have, in my personal opinion, she could have been far better, you know what I mean, and a fan favorite if used properly, just like a lot of the characters in the show. Like Aozawa is my favorite reference for this. Like his quirk isn't like a physical enhancement quirk. Like it's not, you know what I mean, it's not Deku's Kaioken, it's not Todoroki's like fire, it's not Endeavor's fire, it's not Red Riot's hardening. Like it's not Bakugo's napalm paws. It's not something that enhances your ability to like move around or be an efficient fighter, but he still has phenomenal agility and reaction time and decent strength, you know what I mean? Or like Best Genius shouldn't be able to withhold well, I guess scientifically, yeah, because leverage and shit like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, she has phenomenal agility, a decent quirk, and for what we see, I mean, she doesn't really fight, but it's shown that if she should be able to box for real. And then she's also walking fan service, and it doesn't even need to be forced with her because she's just naturally fan service with her costume and her fucking quirk. But yeah, if you're not a fan of, someone walking around being bad as fuck at all times, you know what I'm saying, just looking smexy as hell, of course you're not gonna like it. If you watch shows and you think women are being sexualized for wearing tights, of course you're not gonna like it and whatnot. And then if you're one of those, I'm not gonna get in that, I don't even want to bring that up in the video, but I actually am gonna put her in Hode just because bottom of Hode, you could argue meets expectations or even disappointing because of the way she dies. And also, like, yeah, she dies in a weird way. She dies to something that a lot of heroes get, or a lot of heroes suffer worse and they live, but apparently it wasn't even that what they showed kill her. Apparently off camera she gets jumped while she's laying there before the students find her, and that's how she actually dies. And it's just like, really? Like, that's how you're gonna send her off? Albeit she wasn't that big of a character in the show, but really, that's it? She doesn't even get like a fight scene, you know what I mean? But yeah, she could have been a lot more than what she was, just like the other character. Well, Yaoyorozu could have been a lot more than what she was. Miss Midnight could have been a lot more from what she was. Uraka is a fire character and she gets a lot of screen time, but they just don't do anything with her outside of, her few moments. And then Endeavor gets hold on several levels. Gran Torino meets expectations. I mean, he is what he is. Shirozaki, green hair girl. I mean, I'm sorry if you like her, but she's about to catch a stray. Why does she have more moments and wins in the training arc than Yaoyorozu? Like, she gets in the boxing tournament or whatever, she gets a scene where she turns around and beats a Kaminari. It's just like, why couldn't that be Yaoyorozu? I don't get it. She's trash. I think she's probably out of place in the show, but she's trash, bro. And then Shinzo, he meets expectations. But I feel like instead of him seeking Aizawa out and being taken under his wing, should have been fucking Yaoyorozu, bro. Imagine if Yaoyorozu was under Aizawa's wing. But yeah, he meets expectations. So yeah, this is we gotta zoom out a little bit. It won't. There we go. So yeah, this is the tier list. I actually think it's pretty good. You know, there are some things people can disagree with. Lemillion in S tier, I feel like that's just a given, and I don't think there's really no debate there. Deku is Phi. Some people might argue him and Cool mid or trash. I think in terms of the show, he's definitely Phi. If you compare him to other characters outside the anime sphere, he might be mid. But as of now, with my limited anime knowledge, Deku is Phi. He's cool. You can be Phi and not be one of the greatest characters of all time. You know what I mean? So if you're arguing meets mid, cool, Phi, S tier, I'm with you. I wonder if people are going to think I have him too high. I don't know why you would argue All Might isn't Phi. I mean, you might have him in cool. Aizawa is actually the only one in the cool tier. I don't think you can really argue that. Bro boxes. He puts in work for the show and whatnot. He gets hoed because they nerf his power in the most important part of the show. But it is what it is. Yaoyorozu is definitely the most hoed character in the show. But some of you might disagree and say she's trash. I'm not going to argue with you. Some of you might say, why are you here? Not going to argue with that on that, because that's just how the show treats her. But I feel like her backstory and her, not really build up, but her backstory and what you see her do and her limited screen time in the first season before she gets the mental debuff, it shows that, specifically the first season, it shows that she can be a phenomenal character, but they just don't do it. Endeavor, a good character. He's a hero that has like a bad backstory. He's trying to right his wrongs, trying to be number one. But Endeavor would be in cool if they didn't hoe him in his two biggest fights. They hoe him out of a fight versus Stain, which he would have won and should have won, given that they end up killing Stain. And then he gets hoed in Hosu City, where he should have easily won that fight, but they drag it on because, you know, can't kill Dabi. And then Shigaraki, they hoe it because he kills Shigaraki 3 or 4 times in their fight, but he just regenerates despite Aizawa being there. Uraraka probably has so many videos on YouTube, and then we went over Miss Midnight and whatnot. Bakugo is actually the only character in mid, probably because he does just as much as everybody else, but he means a lot to the story, albeit he does get shelved at time. But when you have all these fucking characters, I mean, some of them are bound to get, like, look at all these characters that meet expectations, and then you got your cool, your fight. Like, this is a lot of characters to split screen time with. So at certain points, you know, some of these guys are gonna have to get shelved and just not do nothing and whatnot. But so I don't really hold that against him, but he doesn't really do anything spectacular for me. Most of his big moments are against his own friend, and he does have some impressive fights. So you actually, now that we're talking it over, I kind of want to move him to cool. Bakugo is kind of cool. I mean, yeah, Bakugo's cool. So we got nobody in mid. Meets expectations: Zuko, Tamaki, Red Riot, Asui, Ears, Electrification, Static Shock, President Mark, Gran Torino, Mount Lady, Kendo, Big Hands, Shinzo, disappointing. We got Tokiyomi and Energy Girl. And I don't think anyone's arguing with this trash tier outside of her. Some people might say she meets expectations. Shouldn't exist is almost inarguable. Some of y'all might have dropped her down into shouldn't exist. But yeah, hey, let me know what you disagree with. That is the tier list, baby. And until we meet in the next video in the comments, remember, if you know, man, because we know we have next sponsored by Atari. And
join will be hopping. The octopus said the same thing to Yoshi. It's about being patient, taking the moment. So snap out of it. You can't let a couple of losses blow you off course. You don't have to win now, just someday. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Well, it kills the octopus.